What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pat Outdoors. Hope you're having a great week. Last time I took the MX out, we went out to some wineries and breweries, and there was definitely a elevation change. Like, it was pretty much a hill climb for miles. And at the very top of the hill, where it was struggling just to climb, I noticed that my motor actually got pretty hot. And I kind of expected that, but I didn't think it would get that hot. I didn't have any sort of temperature measuring tools with me, so I can't really give you a number. Even my buddies, like 60-volt scooters and whatever, all their motors got hot climbing the same hill. So I don't really feel too bad about this, but I don't really want to be going through motors just because I go on long rides or climb some hills here and there. So I want to improve the cooling efficiency of my brushless motor, my Kunray 2000W motor. And I'm actually planning on running more power through it, so I know it's going to be generating more heat. So let's go take this thing apart and see what we can do with improving its cooling efficiency. So this is my Kunray 2000W MY1020 motor, brushless, and as you can see, I put a large rear tire on the rear. So I actually had to shift it forward a little bit just to make sure that there's enough clearance in between the tire and the motor. So I can't really run one of those heat sinks that clamp around the motor like you see on Lone Star's website. So what I'm actually gonna end up doing from some of y'all's suggestions actually is I'm gonna take these end caps off both sides and I'm gonna drill these holes larger. So to take apart a MY1020 motor, you just take out these 3 bolts. Mine have been recessed in there since I modified the cap so they'll sit flush to fit in the Razor swing arm. You'll see that I actually cut 1 bolt flush. So let's go take these 3 bolts off, knock the caps off, and get to work. Also have to take off this nut and sprocket. It's a reverse thread. You can hold the shaft down with a 10 mil. You can take this off with a 12 mil. And you just take the sprocket off, and we're gonna knock this shaft back the other way to knock this side off. So this is what the inside of the Kunray 2000W motor looks like. And these are the end caps that we're going to be drilling larger holes through. Before you say anything about my tabletop, I change these every couple weeks, so it's really not a big deal. I have extras in a closet. But check this out. Look how much larger the vent holes are versus the factory ones. I have no doubt that this is going to have an easier time dissipating heat versus the stock holes. All right, so I got one side fully done. I'm gonna clean this up before I reinstall it on the motor because you don't want any sort of shavings or debris to make it into the magnets. Side by side, you can see the difference in how large these new vent holes are. Which one do you think is gonna breathe easier and let heat out? And in case you're curious what I'm using to do this, I'm using a Bosch 1/8" drill bit that's meant to cut stainless steel. And then I'm just using a rotary tool like a Dremel to do it. But really, you can use any drill you want to. I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to know where to get it. All right, so the motor is reinstalled on the bike, but we're not putting the bike back together just yet. As you might notice, the battery is currently out. That's because I took it out earlier today to take a peek inside the BTR power pack, just to see if it really is a 50 amp BMS installed, and it's not. So during the re-inspection, I noticed that it actually only has a 30 amp BMS installed, or battery management system. So that could have robbed me of a little bit of power over last week's ride, but it really wouldn't have made too big of a difference because the Kunray 2000 watt controller that came with my kit actually is only rated for 33 amps. So it couldn't have even put out more than 1600 watts anyway. So I'm currently bypassing the BMS on the battery just because I'm power hungry. This is not something I recommend you do. This is just for my personal experimentation. And I also ordered a new controller that's supposed to put out 45 amps. So this bike's supposed to be putting out more than 2000 watts by the weekend. So stay tuned if you want to see how that goes. We're going to be doing some top speed tests and hopefully this thing shreds. I'm thinking one out of two things are going to happen this weekend. Either my new controller is going to burn out, or something really bad is going to happen with the battery. But this is all for fun. I'm learning from this. I'm just taking you along with me on this journey. But I already have a new 72 volt battery coming in, but that's not going to be here for another week or so. So for now, we're going to have fun with this 48 volt battery and just make the most out of it. See how fast we can get this bike out of what I already have. So if you found today's video helpful in any way, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with this MX build, want to see what happens, want to see my other projects, consider subscribing to my channel. But this is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching.